What's up, everybody? This is Justin Flinner coming to you live from Northern Virginia with the Justin Flinner Podcast by My Metro Medicine. I was riding home today in the car. It's pretty much gridlock in the city when we were leaving because there were some accidents on the bridge heading west on 66 out of the city. Hope everybody is okay. But inevitably, when those things happen, we get stuck. We get stuck in traffic. We get stuck in the non-movement and the frustration that comes along with it, sitting behind car after car, wondering what's going on and why. Thankfully, the internet has brought us to a place where we can actually understand what is going on rather than sit there and wonder when it is that we can actually escape from these situations. So I guess that takes me in a bit of an unexpected turn and what I wanted to discuss. But the internet really has brought us to a place where we can have more knowledge, more information. And for some people, that can be very frustrating because they thought that not knowing was not as good as knowing. But now that they know what the problems are, where the problem spots are, especially in traffic, now they can target their frustration towards those specific accidents, maybe have less concern about what is actually going on in the situations, whether someone was hurt or whether someone just caused the problem by accident. Regardless, we start to complain. We start to complain of the fact that, somebody did something they shouldn't have. We judge somebody based off of information that we don't have because we think that through the information that we do have, it gives us all of the answers. But the internet only tells us the facts about the situation. Why are we stopped? Because there is a jam on the bridge. There's something going on the bridge that is preventing us from moving. How it happened, why it happened, is going to be completely unclear to us unless you're the person involved in this situation. Complaining is not going to get us anywhere. So on our way home, as I was sitting in the back of the car, I was going through some emails. I myself was trying to figure out perhaps the fastest route that I could get home in this car and share it with the driver because I had to be somewhere to watch my son play basketball that evening. And I didn't complain, but I was listening to the people in the front of the car complaining about the fact that, if they would do the construction at different times, then we wouldn't have problems going this way either. But no, they decided to change it from 2 lanes into 1 lane, and then this bridge is half gone, and then by the time we get to the HOV, then the HOV lane, part of it is blocked, so we have to take a different route, and then they're doing construction the whole length of the entire ride home. All I heard was negativity, was complaining. For Pete's sake, the complaining is not going to help you feel better on your way home. It's going to help you to release whatever frustration you have deep inside of you. And the frustration is not because of the traffic, because if you think about it, on a good day, do you really complain about the traffic, or do you find a way to enjoy the situation? If you had somebody in your car while you were driving, even through the exact same situation that I was going through today, if you had somebody in your car that was able to make you smile, make you laugh, sing along with you with the radio, would your ride be as bad on the way home? Would it be full of complaining? Would it be full of negativity, pessimism? Would it be full of all of these things that don't actually make our lives easier? No, it wouldn't. So what is the difference? How do we move from complaining to not complaining? Well, you first have to change the environment. And the environment change doesn't happen externally only. It must start internally. You have to make the choice to say that, you know what? It's not worth my complaint. I don't know what is actually going on in this situation, so why bother worrying about it right now? Why can't I make the choice to live with a little bit more ease in my life? Let me enjoy this moment. Let me find a way to make it better than it is occurring right now. We do this not just in traffic either. We do this in our lives everywhere. We do this when we go to work. When you go to work, you have too much work. What do? Well, you start complaining about the fact that you have too much work to do. The work starts to pile up on your desk. The people start to make phone calls to you. More emails start to come in. It's a busy time, so I don't have time to do anything else. I can't go to the gym. I don't have time to go down and sit down for lunch. I don't have time to relax and go for a walk in the middle of the day. I barely have time to get up and go to the restroom. Why? Because there's too many things going on. I'm too busy. Too many people are bothering me. I have so much to do. Complaint, 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 complaint. Excuse, 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 excuse. So I did a podcast a long time ago that was very popular last year called Stop Making Excuses. If you haven't listened to that one yet, I suggest you go listen to it immediately after this one is over. Because complaining will get you nowhere, just like making excuses in your life will get you nowhere. Complaining is the act of refusing to allow yourself to live in a moment of ease, to live with ease. You are choosing to live with dis-ease. So I'm curious. There may be quite a bit of... So I'm curious. There may be some of you out there that aren't complainers. You don't consider yourself to be a complainer, and that's great. I would like to know how you manage to avoid the complaining, how you take the higher road. So what did Michelle Obama say? She says, when they go low, we go high. And that's what we should do. When somebody goes low into the area of negativity, of pessimism, of complaining, of excuses, make the choice to go higher. So what choices do you make? If you want to share them with us, go ahead and share them wherever you're listening to this or wherever you found the link, whether it's on Instagram, on Facebook, anywhere else. Share a comment with us and tell us exactly what you do when you encounter someone who's complaining. And what do you do to prevent yourself from complaining? Because it is an important choice. At the beginning, it's not as easy as you might think. Riding in a car full of people that are complaining all the time, it's very easy for us to join in. Why? So that we can feel included, so that we can feel a part of the gang. But is that really a gang or a group or community that you want to be a part of? Is that the choice that you want to make? Do you want to be the collective of complainers? I don't think so. That's not going to make your life any easier. It's not going to make your life any better. Now, the point of me describing this to you in the way that I am is not so that you will avoid the complaining of other people. If you are good at not complaining yourself, that is fantastic. If you can make the choice to take the higher road, great. Do it every single time. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was by Jarek Robbins, the son of Tony Robbins. And what he was talking about was the different levels of inspiration that we are capable of in our lives. Not just inspiring ourselves, but inspiring other people. So when we can inspire other people to change the lives of others, then I'd say we've done some good in the world. So again, when other people are complaining, even if we are good at making the choice to take the higher road, how can we interject and find ourselves raising others to the same higher level? Well, first off, they have to be open to it. And that requires you to be intensely listening with full interest to see if that other individual is actually capable of moving to that higher point or not. Because part of it is based off of their internal environment. Maybe they have something going on in their lives that is preventing them from making that decision, and they are choosing the lower road. If that's the case, maybe all they need is a smile, a quick laugh, a touch of your hand on their shoulder for them to feel that everything is going to turn out okay. Everything will be exactly the way that it needs to be. And then, maybe, just maybe, you can interject with a moment of positivity, a moment of a reminder that says to them, you know what? You don't need to complain right now. Let's find the bright light in this dark tunnel. Let's find our way out of here together. Because you know what? Once you leave this tunnel, you won't believe what you will find, what you will see, the world that is ahead of you. Imagine riding home every day for 30 years, complaining, even when there's no traffic. And then imagine riding home every day for 30 years, laughing, singing, enjoying the moment, loving every second of the drive home, whether it's pouring down rain, whether there's a lightning storm, whether it's a beautiful sunny day, whether it's 100 degrees, whether it's 20 below. Imagine being able to drive home, and no matter what the external environment is, your internal environment creates a much better way of life for 30 years. What kind of commute do you want to have in your life? Even if you don't go to work, if you're just driving to the store, if you drive to the store 3, 4, 5 times a week to buy groceries, to buy clothes for your kids, for yourself, if you drive to the store that many times a week and you complain, oh, I have to go to the next place. We have to rush. Let's go. Come on, get in the car. If we live a life full of rushing, full of complaining for 30 years versus you have fun getting to the car, you have fun getting into the car, making sure everybody is strapped into their seats and saying, every time you're ready to drive the car, you count down T-10 and pretend you're in a rocket ship with your kids, even though you're just going down the street to the grocery store. I mean, how much fun can you have in the car just driving alone? Now, maybe it takes you 5 minutes to get to the store, and then you have all the other minutes in the day that you can make enjoyable for yourself and everyone around you. It starts by you training your internal environment. And creating the internal environment begins with your choice to do so. So as Tony Robbins calls it, your blueprint, your internal blueprint is based off of all of the decisions, the actions, the stories that you have going on in your life and that you've kept with you all these years. They have colored the landscape of your life. And now, I hope you realize, maybe through this podcast, that you are holding the brush in your hand to repaint that landscape, to recolor that landscape, to redraw your internal blueprint, to restructure every part of your life. But it all comes down to your choice to do so. So tell yourself every morning, tell yourself that this is my life and I will design it. I am designing it the way that I want to. And the moment you slip up, that's a call to action. That call to action to take even more of a drastic step, to hold yourself accountable and say, yes, I choose the higher road. I choose to live a life that is full of fun, that is full of laughter, that is full of love, that is full of excitement, that comes from my internal environment, my blueprint, the way that I want to live my life. I will not be clouded by the negativity, the judgment, the complaints and excuses of other people, because their choices do not and will not ever affect mine. I must live a life of a higher level. When they go low, we go high. So stop complaining if you are one of those people who complain. If you don't even know if you're one of those people complaining, find out exactly how many people want to listen to you, how many people want to be around you. What do people have to say about you? Maybe you don't quite know. Maybe you should ask. That might be hurtful, but it's full of truth. It might be a wake-up call for you. Sometimes we need that hit on the head that says, you know what? Shut up. Stop the complaining. End the stories. Quit the judging. and realize that you are not the only person on this planet. You are not the only car on the road driving home. Everybody on the road wants to get home. So if we all stop complaining, imagine how much better traffic might be, how easier it might move. So hopefully this gives you a chance to think a little bit differently in your life while you're commuting to work, while you're commuting home, while you're driving to the store, while you're driving back home, wherever it is that you are driving to, wherever it is you are traveling to, wherever you are in your life right now. Make the choice to live a life full of joy, of positivity, of love, of kindness, of caring. End the stories that no longer serve you. Recreate your blueprint. That's it for this week's podcast. I'm Justin Flinner, and this is the Justin Flinner Podcast by My Metro Medicine. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next time. This podcast is brought to you by My Metro Medicine, an organization that is dedicated to helping people improve their lives by learning to empower themselves and take control of their own life. Any form of reproduction or distribution of this podcast is strictly prohibited. Should you have any questions on using this podcast or information that is contained within this podcast, please write to info@mymetromedicine.com.